Hello and welcome to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on Amateur Sports TV. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. Thank you so much for joining us for today's edition of our MFHL U18 AAA coverage for the 2020-2021 season here on the network. And we had some great games happen in the MFHL this past week. We saw 3 teams get their first win of the season. We saw an upset in one of those games as well. And we also got an all-Winnipeg matchup as well yesterday, which was Wednesday night. We're going to get into that right now. And the score update provided by Coffee with Graeme for the MFHL is sponsored by Pure Annata.
And the MFHL score report is brought to you by Pure Annata, natural beauty made in Canada. Since there was 7 games that took place from last Friday to last night, we aren't going to break down all of them, but we will show you the scores. But most notably, 3 of the games were Pemna Valley getting their first win over the Eastman Selects 4-2 on Saturday. Then on Sunday, Eastman dominated Interlake 8-2 to win their first game of the year, and the Yellowhead Chiefs outlasted the Winnipeg Ice in a 3-2 shootout victory in a battle of the undefeated this past Sunday. Also, here's the MFHL Player Awards for Week 3. These picks were for the games up until Sunday, October 18th. Avros forward Trinity Grove won Player of the Week in the MFHL, and Central Plains goaltender Megan Bezwethrick won Goalie of the Week.
And what a game we were treated to last night. If you guys missed it, it was provided by Game Time TV, but if you were there as well, you saw the Avros take down their crosstown rival, the Winnipeg Ice, in a showdown between 2 top teams in the MFHL in early season tilt, where the Avros took down their crosstown rival 3-2, and the Avros started the game off up 1-0, and then the Ice answered back with 2 of their own. The Avros ended up tying the game, and then they got a game winner from their captain. And should we call her Captain Clutch? I think we should. Trinity Grove. And Grove is continuing her big season right now. And for Grove this year, she started off slow as an Avro. She didn't have a goal in her first 2 games, and then she ended up getting her first one against the Interlake Lightning, and ever since that game, it's given her a boost of confidence, and she's been rolling ever since. I mean, 2 goals in that game against Pemna Valley, and she had an assist as well over this past weekend, and then a goal and an assist in this past game against the Winnipeg Ice. And for Trinity this season, it's been a year of accomplishment so far. I mean, she signed her commitment to the University of Regina for 2021. She was the 5th Avro in history to hit the 100-point mark. She was at 102 points before the game against the Ice, and now she's at 104 career points as a Winnipeg Avro, and she's also wearing the C. And for Trinity this season, wearing the C, she's taken on a lot of responsibility, but with the teammate she has, the leadership group that the Avros selected this season, it's made it all that much easier for her. And I had a chance to talk to her about that and much more in today's edition of Coffee with Graeme, our MFHL coverage. Trinity Grove joining us on the network today.
It's nice to have you back on the show, Trinity. I know there's been a lot of stuff going on so far this year with you. I mean, you've had so many accomplishments already with the Avros. You had a milestone recently in the last game. We'll get to that later in the interview. But one big thing outside the Avros organization was that you committed to the University of Regina for the 2021 season, which is next year at the university level, committing to the University of Regina, which is super awesome. So I'm sure there was a lot of offers on the table for you with the talent that you bring out there on the ice, but why did you feel that the University of Regina was the right fit for you?
So, the coaches and some of the school personnel I talked to, they really made me feel, welcome. And, Regina's nice and close to home, and I'll get to come back and play at home here twice a year. So I think all of those factors just played into my decision.
Nice. And you'll be playing, you'll have a chance to play a teammate in Rachel Godfrey because she committed to the University of Manitoba. So it's going to be exciting for you to play some familiar faces, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun. Also, Maddie Smith committed to Trinity Western University. So, getting to play with those girls that I played with this year, it's going to be really fun and competitive.
How proud are you of not only yourself but your teammates for, getting the chances to move on and have a career beyond the Avros?
Yeah, I'm really proud of them. And, it's a big decision and it's a pretty stressful decision, but, I'm really proud and happy for them that, they found somewhere that they like and they're going to be able to continue to play hockey after this year.
And what are you going to be studying at your time at the University of Regina?
So I'm not 100% yet, but I'm thinking something in the sciences, probably biochemistry or chemistry.
Nice. Well, you got a bit of time to decide. I mean, it's next season. You still got to focus on this season. But before we move on to your time with the Avros this season, how are you feeling about the feeling of leaving home at this time next year to pursue a career in hockey?
I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a shock being away from home because I've never been away from home for that long at once. But I'm pretty excited about it just to be on my own for once and see what it's like.
Nice, nice. Well, once again, congratulations on your signing. I'm sure you're going to do some great things at the next level, but that's next year. We're going to focus on this year and the 4 games that you've had with the Avros so far. Just a 3-1 record for your team so far. You guys are leading the league in goals for with 17 at the time of this recording. I mean, you haven't played the Ice yet in the Wednesday matchup, so we'll see how the stats change. You guys got 7 goals against this season, so you guys have been a solid all-around team. But moving into your role as the captain, we talked about what you expected as a captain this year and season preview, what type of leader you are. How have you been able to handle the responsibility of wearing that C so far this season?
I mean, it's a little stressful just because it's definitely some pressure, knowing that you got to be a leader for your team. But I've been just going out and just playing how I play and playing hard and keeping the bench up. And I think that's really all you can do as a captain is just try your best to be a leader.
And you said a big thing, you and Courtney on the show said that a big thing would be for you guys to get the young players to buy in by working hard and welcoming them off the ice. And you've already gotten a compliment from one of the 15-year-olds on the team, one of the rookies, and Rhea Hodgnocki. And she said to us last week on the show, well, she said to me last week on the show that she wants to be like you. So as a player, so getting that praise from a teammate like Rhea, how much does that mean to you?
I mean, that's pretty cool because I didn't know she said that, but that's pretty cool. And, it's nice to know that, the girls look up to you. And it is a little bit of pressure then that they are looking up to you. But, I think it's a challenge just to, lead these girls on this team and especially the young ones this year.
Yeah, and as a group, I mean, you, Maddie Smith, Rachel Gottfried, and Courtney Bays all being the leaders on this team wearing letters. How have you found that through these first 4 games, how you guys as a whole have handled leading this young group of players? I
think we've done pretty well. We're all really good friends, me, Rachel, MJ, and Courtney. So, if as long as if we can get along, then, it's better for us, then we can work together to try and make the team better and get them fired up more. So I think we're a pretty good group this year and we're all pretty close. So that helps with leading the team.
And then just Courtney Bays in the interview when she was on with you said that she felt like she had to take a role like you did last year and step up her game even more. And hearing things from Ashley saying that she's like an extra coach there on the ice. Has it been fun to see Courtney's development this year and all the hard work that I know you were working alongside her in the summer to see not only your work come out this season and finally shine, but the work she put in to translate on the ice as well?
Yeah, Courtney, she's really good. Like, she's a really good player and she works so incredibly hard. And I seen that we did a couple of workouts together and you just see how hard she works and, she really, really cares. So, I think that definitely that hard work over this last off season has definitely played into how she's been playing this year, which is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, and for you too, because you had a slower start to the season than you probably wanted, but you've really come on in these last two games. The game against Interlake, you got your first goal of the season. It took 3 games, but you finally got it. How did it feel to get the monkey off your back?
It felt pretty good. I was getting a little frustrated just because, I really wanted to get that first goal of the year, but once I got it, I was pretty relieved and excited.
Yeah, and for you this season, I mean, you said that in the first interview I talked to you, and you said that I asked you the question, parts of your game that you want to see step up this season in your own game, and like the things that you're hoping to see step up because of all the work you put in. You said you hope a lot of parts in your game would step up and elevate to the next level. Have you seen, some of those things in specific step up so far this season to have such a great start to the year?
Yeah, I think my shot definitely got a bit better, and just in general, just my confidence in general and hockey IQ, I feel like went up from last year. But I'm still trying to get even better at everything in general, and not be satisfied with where I'm at, and just keep getting better.
So you, Kaylin, and Nora on a line. How do you think that your games complement each other for you guys to be such a great line out there?
Yeah, I think I think I'm pretty fast, so I'm usually in the corners, and Nora's sitting out in the slot, and Nora's a sniper, so as long as me and Kaylin can get the puck out of the corners into her, she'll put it in the net. And I think just our speed and our skills combined just really makes us a pretty good line.
And you guys stepped up in that game against Pemna Valley this past Sunday. You guys were down 2-0 to start, though, in that game after one, but then the Vets stepped up. And the storyline in the first 3 games for you guys was the rookies were stepping up for you guys and being the big contributors. But this is maybe one of those games where the Vets kind of, turn the tables. How nice was it to see not only yourself, but all the other leaders on the team like Nora, Rachel, Kyler, Courtney, all of them step up in that game to lead you guys to that comeback victory?
Yeah, so in that game, actually, what happened was the lines ended up switching around after the first. So it ended up being me, Nora, and Courtney on a line together. And I think that, Ashley did that just to give us a little boost of energy. And, just having all the Vets out there together was really nice. And I think it definitely brought some energy to the whole team. And so, yeah, I think the Vets really pulled through on that game and, set the tempo.
And with a coach like Ashley Van Aggelen, we've talked about her on the show. You and Courtney, both big fan of your coach. She's a huge mentor to you guys, but just those changes in the lineups that she makes, the ability to adjust as a coach. I mean, putting a line of all Vets together, I'm sure that it got you guys fired up to be playing with each other and being like, hey, we're the line that's supposed to step up and get us this win. Let's go out there. And then it gave you that extra boost of energy.
Yeah, I think we were all really excited when she told us that all the Vets would be going together. And we were nervous too because, we don't know how that would fare with the rest of the team with all the Vets being on one line. With the lack of maybe, Vets being on a line. So to have 2 all-rookie lines, yeah, we were definitely nervous. But, we went out there and we scored a couple goals and set the tempo. And I think that it really ended up paying off at the end of the game.
You think that Ashley putting 2 full rookie lines together and then a whole line of Vets puts a lot of trust in you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that shows that, she really depends on us to, set the tempo and get the team fired up. And I think that shows also that she really believes in our rookies too, to have 2 all-rookie lines against a pretty good team like PV.
Yeah. And we're going to move. I love to talk about the rookies all day because you guys got such a great group of rookies, a great group of returning players as well. I mean, your rookie goaltenders have been great so far this season. And then that begs the question. I mean, it seems like you guys were so fired up about this team before season action started. And it seems like you guys got such a great mix of Vets and rookies out there. So with the balance like that, do you think that makes you guys an even more dangerous team than maybe you were last year? Because even though you guys did have that leadership last year driving the force, maybe it gives you a different dynamic this year with having a more balanced mix, I guess, between rookies and vets is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think other teams could maybe doubt your rookies and, think you might be a little weaker because of your amount of rookies. But I think that really gives the rookies a chance to, step up and really prove them wrong. And yeah, I think having the dynamic of the vets firing everyone up and the rookies, like, they're really hungry to get better and really hungry to score and play really well. So I think that dynamic really makes us as a whole better.
Nice. And just talking about breaking down your points or goals in that game against PV, I saw the highlights on the Instagram. In your first goal, you get a pass from one of your defensemen. I'm assuming it was Rachel, pass it to you, but you split the D, you tuck it 5-hole. What was going through your mind in that goal?
I think it was just score because I was on a breakaway and I had two girls right on me, and I think I didn't really have time to think about what I was going to do. I just threw the puck at the net, did a little move to the backhand, and it was in the back of the net. So, yeah.
Nice. And then your second goal came from just hard work, a hard forward check. Your speed was on full display. You had a nose for the net. I mean, everything came together in that play. It was like an all-around goal. But how fired up were you after scoring that one?
Oh, I was really fired up because that was, I believe that goal tied it up, or no, it gave us a lead. So I think we were all fired up after that, after being down 2-0 and being able to come back and be up 3-1, that was really nice and got us all fired up.
And we talk about confidence all the time here on the show, and I've talked about it so much with you and how these years, all the experiences that you had have built your confidence so much. But for you to, the game before against Interlake, getting your first goal of the season, getting that monkey off your back, and then proving you could do it again, but at an even higher level in this game against the Pemna Valley Hawks, who pushed you guys to the limit. They were up early in this game, 2-0. I mean, for you to score a big goal to, at the time, put your team ahead, I'm sure that your confidence, and as you said, you're fired up, I'm sure your confidence was soaring at that point.
For sure, yeah. When you score in a game, you definitely get a little boost of confidence and your mood kind of boosts a little bit after a rough first period. But yeah, I think that really helped, that boost in confidence and being fired up really helped me keep playing really hard for the rest of the game.
And then on the game-winning goal where you set up Nora Collins, another example of hard work. You go in, you get the puck, you circle around, and then you pass it to Nora, and she puts it in the back of the net. I mean, does that go into the trust about trusting Nora with that big shot and you having that playmaking ability, about how much trust you guys had as a line to make that play?
Yeah, I think, I came out of the corner and I seen her out of the corner of my eye, and I passed it to her, and I knew she was open. So, I knew that was going to go in for sure. If Nora had a wide open shot in front of the net, and she's going to put that in the net 9 times out of 10, which is really nice. And yeah, it was a pretty good goal.
So you got the Avros team belt in the win. Ashley said that it's a decision made by players, and a great decision because you were the driving force of this team in the comeback as the captain, but you also reached the 100-point club on the Avros, and you finished that game at 102 points in your career with a 3-point effort. But you joined an exclusive list of only, you're the only the 5th Avro in history to join that list. So how much pride and honor do you have with that? Because I know how much the Avros mean to you as a family, as a team, and just some of the great years of your life playing with them. I'm sure that getting to this point is such an accomplishment for you.
Yeah, for sure. I was really excited. I was really looking forward to hit that 100 points, and, I was really excited when I ended up getting it. And, it was being up there with those 5 players, and 2 of which I've played with before, and being able to say I'm a part of that exclusive list is really exciting, and it's a lot of pride. Yeah.
Nice. And then you were also named the MFHL Player of the Week, so I'm sure that just adds to the big confidence that you have already. I mean, you're coming off a game where you were the driving force of the team's comeback with 3 points. The Avros team belt in the win, reaching 100 career points with 102 now, and then being named MFHL Player of the Week. I'm sure that was just the cherry on top for this week.
Yeah, it was a lot, but it's nice to be recognized and have some recognition for my accomplishments, and I worked really hard for it, so it's really nice and exciting to have some recognition.
So this interview goes out on Thursday. You guys are we're already gonna have a result between you and the Winnipeg Ice by the time this airs. So this is pre-Winnipeg Avros versus Winnipeg Ice, but you guys are playing the Winnipeg Ice in an early season tilt. It's still in Winnipeg, but it's a road game. You're going into their barn. You guys are playing for the first time since last year when you should have potentially been playing in the finals, but then COVID canceled it. But you're going up against the Winnipeg Ice team that's coming off their first loss of the season. You guys probably both have, both of these teams both probably have, a lot of adrenaline is going to be pumping in this game, but you're going up against a lot of great players and Maya Emmon and Martina Barkley, and you're going up against, either one of their goalies is going to be great, and Ryan Lopke and Morgan Baker. But what's the preparation? I know you guys got to practice tonight, but what's the preparation going into the game, the early season tilt against the Winnipeg Ice?
I think the preparation is just making sure we're prepared for the game in general, coming to the rink fired up and ready to play, and not taking a shift off is definitely going to be a big factor. And we can't take them lightly at all. Like they're a really good team. They got some great players, like you said. So I think just coming into the game with some confidence after that win on Sunday and ready to play hard on every shift is going to be the key.
And is there, because two Winnipeg teams, so obviously you must know some girls on the team, has there been any friendly rivalry conversations before the game, any trash talk?
Yeah, I know quite a few of the girls on that team, but their goalie Morgan Baker, I went to school with her since junior high, and we played on basketball teams together, and we played high school hockey together. So I think that's definitely a big rivalry for me, is her, and hopefully she's playing, so maybe I'll be able to score another goal on her.
And the Avros continue their busy October this Friday against the Interlake Lightning. Puck drops 7:30 p.m. in Stonewall. Then they'll get a one-day break as the Avros prepare to face off against the Yellowhead Chiefs for a battle of first place in the league. Puck drops at 2:30 p.m. in Shoal Lake on Sunday. Then the Avros travel to St. Anne to battle the Eastman Selects Wednesday, 8 p.m. to end their 5-game road trip.
And welcome back to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on Amateur Sports TV, our coverage of the MFHL U18 AAA season for 2020-2021. Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs, is joining us next here on the show, and his team so far this season, so far, so good. A 4-0 start for his team, establishing themselves as arguably, if not the best team in the league so far, and even though they are tied with the Winnipeg Avros as of the Avros win over the Ice to move them into that first place tie. The Yellowhead Chiefs have beaten them this season in their first game of the year, and they also took care of business in the Battle of the Undefeated against the Winnipeg Ice this past Sunday, where they beat the Ice 3-2 in a shootout. And for Derek's team this season, they came in with 10 returning players, 6 of them forwards, 3 of them defensemen, and 1 of them was a goaltender. I had a chance to speak to him about what it was like building around that core of returning players players. I talked about his decision to roll with 11 forwards, 6 defensemen, and 2 goalies this season, how the lineup, how everything kind of worked out for them to build that type of roster this season. I also had a chance to speak about their first 3 games and then the game against the Ice, and we broke down the game against the Ice a bit, and we also talked to Derek about what his team is doing to prepare for their next game coming up against the Winnipeg Avros.
And I'm here with Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs, joining me on today's edition of our MFHL coverage here on Coffee with Graeme. Derek's team coming off a big win against the Winnipeg Ice in Sunday's matchup, where they won in a shootout 3-2 in the battle of the undefeated. So Yellowhead moved 4-0 on the season, and they claim that top spot in the MFHL. Derek, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Graeme.
Yeah, no problem. Your team this season is coming in as a fairly experienced team. I mean, 10 returning players coming into this season with 6 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goaltender. And you guys decided to go with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen this year on your roster with 2 goaltenders. Why decide to go with 11 forwards and 6 defensemen this year other than maybe trying a different lineup combination?
Just the way the training camp went, we had a couple girls that had a great camp, so we thought we'd want to have them there too. And I guess 3 lines, 2 extra, just because of the COVID. We know there's going to be some restrictions. Maybe somebody will have a cough or things like that, or the flu. Might not be at all the games, so we want to get as many bodies on our team as we can. And that's what we decided.
And it seemed like you guys had so much skill coming back up front with a goal scorer like Simone with 31 goals in total last season. I mean, Fouliard, Thompson, and McGuire, all 20-point getters. And then Tibbatts and Darby Poole with their, over 15 points. And Poole's having a great start to her season. But what was the strength around building around these returning players up front?
Well, the strength of building those, like you said, those girls are they can put the puck in the net, and they got great leadership qualities. So those young girls will see that they've got great work attitude. So and they've been in they've been in the league already for a year. So the rookies have to see that and know what to strive for when these veterans get on the ice and work hard. So.
And you guys decided to select not 1, not 2, but 3, 2004 players this season. And 2 of them are already making huge impact with Derek Thompson and Hannah Rigg. What have you liked from their game so far in this season?
They're fast. They're skilled. They know where the puck has to go, and they know where to go without the puck. They had a great training camp. There's so much potential for them. I can't wait as the years go by. They're just going to get stronger and more confident. And don't get me wrong, they already are confident. They're just showing a lot of skill out there. They're not afraid of getting dirty out there and getting into the 200-foot game, dirty areas. So it's good to see.
And a player that we had on last week was Hayley Hodgnocki, as she played with the Parkland Rangers at the AAA level the year before coming up with you guys this season. And when we had her on, she had a goal and an assist in that game against Pemna Valley. But talking about the strengths in her game, from what she told me, she's more of an offensive talent rather than a defensive talent. Is that something that you're working on with her game this year, is to make her that complete 200-foot player?
Yeah, actually, she had a great training camp too, and that's why we kept her. She, like you said, she is a gifted forward with great hands, and she could put that puck in the net. She's got size. She could work in the corners, and Simon is their centerman there with that line. So it's kind of a good fit. Waddell's on the other side, and they just get that puck to Simon, and they have great success together.
Now, moving to the defensive side of things, Coach, you got defensive point leaders back in Ferguson and Durkach, who both had 27 points last year. You have players like Nichols and Kubi coming back. And just could you talk about the strength that these four players are going to bring to a core that last year lost, like coming off of last year losing Bartow, Shantran, Heapy, and Mitcha?
Well, we got four veterans, like you said, Ferguson, Kubi, Levi Durkach was forward. We put her up to D. We know she could play D. She's having a great year already with as a D. She's got a great shot. And like I said, Nichols. Who else am I missing? My fourth one. Fergie. Yeah, that's it. So we got those four, and like I said, they played already in a year. They're veterans. They've got good foot speed. They all could shoot. They all can make that first pass. And then when you add these young defensemen that are coming in to help them, it's just a huge success. It's pretty good. It's good to see. We got three vets, three rookies. It's going to be good.
And then in net, you also brought up a goaltender in McKenna LaBerge, first-year goaltender. She's got a win already this season. Could you describe her game?
She's a big goalie. She's 5'9", tall goalie. She works hard in practice, like really, really hard. Does anything that you want her to do. She, like I said, she's got one win under her belt. She played against Central Plains. She had a shaky start, and that was just nerves. Once she got those nerves gone, she was solid. She made some key saves there and got us that win against Central Plains.
Moving into your season now, Coach, a 4-0 start, as we mentioned in the intro. I mean, first place in the MFHL with, the team you got this season. You guys are so talented offensively, being tied in second in the league in goals for at the time of this recording of this interview with 13. You got the third most goals allowed in the league right now, but your defensive play is so good. You're so good at shutting down teams like the Avros and like the Ice and limiting those high-powered offensive teams so far. But one thing that stood out to me is the penalty minutes that you've taken, and they've gotten a bit better throughout the games as the games have gone along.
Yeah, you can't score goals when you're in the penalty box. I think our first game against the Avros, we had lots of penalties. We had a team talk after that game and said, we have so much talent. We need to be on the ice at all times. So we got a little better at that. And as you said before, as the games as we kept on going with our games, our penalties have been better. So just had to regroup and talk to everybody.
And would you credit the penalties that you guys took so early on maybe to the lack of preseason games or no preseason games that you guys had this season, that you guys kind of weren't in the groove of things, a bit sloppy at first?
Absolutely. Preseason, we should have had two exhibition games before we even got going. And not only us, the referees too. I think everybody was rusty. Probably some of those calls weren't calls. But like you said, people were rusty. Some of our girls didn't know the pace and didn't know what to expect or how much we could get our bodies involved. So like you said, it's a learning experience, and we'll keep on learning with it. We'll keep on getting better with that.
And first three games for you guys besides the Ice game, we're going to break down that Ice game a bit in just a moment here, but a 3-1 win against the Avros, 4-3 against the Hawks, and a 3-2 win versus the Caps. And you guys have outshot your opponent in every one of those games. Has it been nice to see you guys control the pucks in the offensive zone so far this season?
Absolutely. That's one of our key games. We don't really want to dump that puck in. We need to have that puck as much as we can. And why we need that puck is, like you said, we've got skilled forwards that need the puck, and when we have the puck, you have more chances to win.
And even though you guys have let up, a fairly high amount of goals so far this season, not crazy or anything like that, but we know that you guys are limiting teams to shot. Is that a credit to how strong your defensive play has been this season and just your coverages in the D zone and your transition game as well?
Yeah, D zone has been really, really good. We still can't get better with that. But like I said, if we have the puck all the times, it's hard for teams to get the puck and score a goal. So it counterbalances it. If you have the puck, it's all good.
And then just that game against the Caps, the Central Plains Capitals, you guys were playing your home opener against the Caps, which was their first game of the season. And you guys started off down 2-0 in that game. We're down 2-1 after the end of the first period when it was all said and done after that first. But you guys were able to battle back. Did it speak to the experience about your vets in those games, in that game that, led the comeback for you guys?
Well, the first two shifts, they got 2 goals. So it was a lot of nerves. Home opener. We had, I think, 150 fans. So and we had some young girls, so they didn't know what to expect with the home opener. So nerves did settle in, I think. And our goalie had some nerves in it. So once we got all those done, we got that 1 goal to get into the 2-on-1 after 1. It snowballed. We had a little talk after the first period, and it's going to get better, and just keep on shooting and shooting the puck at the net. And I think we outshot them like 45-20, I think, at the end of the game or something like that. So we just got stronger and stronger and stronger and kept on going. It was good to see. Veterans took lead.
And one of those vets that did take the lead was Darby Poole, stepping up in this game, a 2-goal performance in that win. And she's shown consistency early, coach, with a 3-game point streak so far. And just, would you say that this is a different Darby Poole than we have seen compared to her year last year in 2019-2020?
Well, she's fighting the net more this year. Don't get me wrong. She had a great, strong year last year for being a rookie. She's not flashy, but she gets the job done. She protects the puck so well. It's always on her stick. And even if she does want to get rid of it, it's on a teammate's stick, or she puts it in the good areas. So she's having a great year so far. She could score. She's got great hands when she's around that net. So if she keeps on going like this, she's going to be huge for our team.
And moving into this game against the Winnipeg Ice that just happened, I guess a game that you guys really wanted coming in after facing the Ice last year in the semifinals, not being able to get through to the final game, losing that series in 5 games. You guys come out with a 3-2 win over the Ice. You guys played a solid goaltender in Morgan Baker, who saved 42 shots out of 44 shots against, and that's just it. It seems like you guys controlled the game. It seems like you guys dominated in all facets, but just weren't able to solve Baker enough times, but were able to push it to the shootout, and you guys got a great shootout goal in Simon. But would you say this is maybe one of the most complete games your team has played up until this point, even though the result didn't show that you guys totally dominated them on the scoreboard?
Absolutely. That was, like I told the girls at the end of the game, that was one of our complete games. I was very proud of them. One of the best games I've seen all year, and even some like last year. Like, that was a strong game for us. We had, I think in the first period, we had 2 crossbars and a post. We could have gone up easily 4-0, but down 1-0, but came back and ended up with a tie and going over the shootout. But that game could have easily been 5-6-1. But give credit to the Baker girl. She was really, really good on the net, and she's a great goalie.
And you've had a chance to be able to see Baker for a number of years now in the games that you guys have played her. What makes Morgan Baker so good as a goaltender, in your opinion?
She just doesn't overcommit. Like, she's a bigger goalie, but she just plays her angles really good. She doesn't go. Like you said, doesn't overcommit. And you have to have a fast, quick shot to beat her. So and like that overtime shot goal with Simon, that's what she did, top corner, and it was a great goal.
Yeah, and Draw Simon, a great performance early on in the season, a goal, an assist, and a shootout winner, and just everything you expect out of your captain, your senior, in this big game like this against the Winnipeg Ice. But just the years that she's had to develop and progress throughout her U18 career, could you speak about the type of player she is now at this point in her career?
Well, she's from Flin Flon, right? She gets billeted out, so she's away from her family. And let's be honest, who does that nowadays, being away from that far away from your family and want to play hockey? So it's awesome that she does that. this year she's a great leader, and don't get me wrong, she was a great leader last year too. But she's come out of her shell. She's had such a effect with all the girls here now. She works hard. She's a voice inside the dressing room too, and she leads by example. She does not take a shift off night after night practice either too. So yeah, expect big things with her this year and for her career next year, wherever she decides what to do.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see her, continue her career for the upcoming foreseeable future in her hockey life, because if it's any indication of the year that she's having this year and the year she had last year with 31 goals, it seems like she's just going to keep progressing, and that's something that's really amazing to see for a player of her caliber. So moving into your next matchup against the Winnipeg Avros, the team that you guys played in the first game of the season where you guys did get that 3-1 win. Of course, there's been some time between that first game and until the next matchup between you guys, which is the next matchup you guys play on Sunday. You guys have about a week off between your game against the Ice to playing the Avros. What is the game plan going in against an Avros team that's going to be coming out and hungry to prove something against you guys?
Well, yeah, everybody's going to try to go as hard as you can when you're undefeated, right? So we have to get prepared right from puck dropped, knowing that as we go on forward, every game's going to get harder and harder. Avros or any other team, no exception. They're going to be out there for blood. So we just have to get prepared like we always do, have great practices this week. And yeah, hopefully it just keeps on building on our momentum of our 4 wins.
And as you did say, I mean, everyone wants to beat you guys, especially when you guys are that #1 team. Do you feel like this team will be able to handle that pressure with what comes to being that top team?
Yes. Yeah. Like we've got lots of veterans that have kind of been there. Playoffs, we had a good run in playoffs. So no, I don't think there's pressure in it. You know what? It's early on. It's not such a big deal. It's only 4-0. And anything could happen. So there is no pressure at all. We just have to play our own game, and it all starts from practices this week. So.
And even though Yellowhead only has 1 game on their schedule this week, it's going to be a big one. The Chiefs take on the Avros for top spot in the MFHL this Sunday. Puck drops at 2:30 p.m. in Shoal Lake. It's going to be the Chiefs' second home game of the season. And now to take a look at some matchups we haven't talked about in this episode. This Saturday, the Winnipeg Ice look to bounce back after dropping their last 2 games. Winnipeg takes on the Pemna Valley Hawks in Morden at 5:15 p.m. This will be one of 2 times these teams play this weekend. Eastman travels to Hartney to play the Westman Wildcats. Westman looks to bounce back after their loss against the Central Plains Capitals last Sunday, and Eastman looks to carry their momentum from their 8-2 win over Interlake from last Sunday's game. On Sunday, Interlake is looking for their first win of the 2020-2021 campaign as they travel to BDO Center to take on the Central Plains Capitals. The Capitals are coming in after a big win against Westman last Sunday. It's an early one, 11 a.m. is your puck drop for that one, and then finally the Ice will be back at it on Sunday at home to take on Pemna Valley in their second matchup against them in this weekend once again at 2:20 p.m.
And with that being said, that's going to do for today's edition of Coffee with Graeme here on Amateur Sports TV. And be sure to check out our show on a Tuesday morning, 10:30 a.m. We don't got a guest yet, but stay tuned for that. We're going to bring you guys some great coverage once again, coming up Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. And besides this show on the network, which is Coffee with Graeme, which does air every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 10:30 a.m., we got other great shows like On the Ice with Theo Tuckalek, which airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. For pro sports coverage, we got Crunch Time with the boys weekdays at 9 p.m. For all you amateur sports soccer fans out there, we got Mahith Gamaj's show Between the Pipes, which does air on Wednesdays. We got a new show that just aired last night in Primetime Alberta Sports Show, and that's a great show. Go check it out. We also got the Sask Sports Show with JD Hodden. So if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Saskatchewan area for amateur sports, be sure to check out JD's show, the Sask Sports Show. And then we also got these other great shows coming to the network in the New Prospect Show, the Rookie Show, World Softball TV, and the International Hockey Academy Show, all coming to the network very soon. You can check out all our great shows that we got here already on the network at Amateur Sports TV on Facebook and YouTube at Amateur Sports TV, as I already did say. And if you want to stay up to date with all our coverage of when our shows are coming out, you can check us out at Facebook, but also Instagram and Twitter as well for that at Amateur Sports TV. And that's going to do it for this edition of Coffee with Graeme. I've been your host, Graeme Forsyth, and until next time, stay safe out there and remember to always grab your cup of joe and to sit back and enjoy our great shows here on the network. I've been Graeme Forsyth, signing off.